Ms. Lim also asked about how the rights of accused are safeguarded during police investigations. She also made observations on the time taken for police investigations in the context of people who hold vocational licenses. When a police report is lodged and there is a prima facie case, the police have a duty to investigate. Investigations will invariably impact those involved, such as accused persons, victims, witnesses, and we understand this. Regulatory agencies that issue licenses, including vocational licenses, have a responsibility to consider the potential risk to the public and to assess whether there is a need to suspend or revoke those licenses. And in the case of vocational driving licenses, the suspension or revocation is determined by LTA, and they consider each case and whether commuter safety is at risk. But if this creates hardship, then we should immediately refer these individuals to social support agencies so that they get assistance they need. But I assure the member that the police will conduct investigations as speedily as possible. But although they try to expedite investigations, they require sufficient time to conduct a thorough and fair investigation. In some cases, will take longer to investigate. This applies as well for investigations into alleged sexual abuse against minors, which Mr. Christopher D'Souza asked about. The police treat such cases with great urgency, but speed should not come at the expense of due process, diligence, and sensitivity. Utmost care is taken to support child victims during investigation. For example, investigations are carried out in private consultation rooms designed to provide a safe and comfortable environment. Investigation officers are specially trained to use interviewing techniques sensitive to the welfare and emotional state of the child. And we are working with agencies to reduce the number of times the victim has to recount his or her experience to different parties. On providing early access to counsel, we need to be fair to the accused, but also to the victims and to society as a whole. We should protect the rights of the accused without prejudicing the rights of the victims and the safety and security of society. We have therefore taken the approach of granting access to counsel within a reasonable time after investigations begin, and this has served us well. Madam, Ms. Sylvia Lim has also asked about the status of the VRI pilot. My minister had spoken about it last year. She may refer to that statement. But essentially, we've consulted the legal community, and after taking into account the feedback that they've given, we have decided it would be better to put in place the necessary legislative amendments before starting the pilot. The work to amend the legislation is ongoing. We are also working on configuring VRI-enabled interview rooms for our law enforcement agencies and enhancing training for our officers. And we will announce details in due course. Madam, for youths between 16 to 18 years old facing criminal charges, which Ms. Sylvia Lim spoke about, there are various protective measures in place. Offenders in this age group are usually dealt with by the community court, which is committed to restorative justice and rehabilitation. These offenders could be asked to undergo family conferences or offender-victim mediations. Youths below 19 years who commit minor offenses can also be diverted from prosecution in court to community-based rehabilitation programs, such as the guidance program GP and enhanced streetwise program. In October 2015, MSF, MHA, and the Attorney General's Chambers started a review of the criminal justice system for youth. The committee has made several recommendations, including to further strengthen the protection of youth offenders between the ages of 16 and 18 years old, and raising the threshold age under the CYPA to 18. The government is presently studying the recommendations and will announce details in due course. Ms. Sylvia Lim also asked whether parents could be allowed to be appropriate adults. There is a risk that some persons related to the young suspect would face difficulty staying neutral during the interview, and so we prefer a neutral third party with no direct interest to be the appropriate adult. This will achieve the objective of providing emotional support to young suspects without unduly interfering with the investigation process.